Good morning, happy Friday, everyone. And the phone is already not in the right angle. There we go. That's a bit better. So, once again, good morning, happy Friday. As my fellow Horseheads Blue Raiders out there, happy homecoming. Yeah, it's homecoming today. I'm so excited for tonight's game, but I know it's going to be cold. That's why I literally have long underwear on right now. I know the game isn't until 7 o'clock tonight, but come on, man. It's going to be cold all day. It's 35 degrees outside right now. Not to mention I have a very busy day ahead of me, and I'm actually kind of running behind, so let's get started with my low, my high, my act of kindness. And actually, my low is the fact that I stayed in bed too long this morning. That's okay, because I'm up now. I'm feeling rested. I'm feeling rejuvenated. It's Friday. Homecoming's tonight. I'm excited. Let's get it done. And also we got, actually, you know what? My high is the fact that we made it to homecoming. And we had a great episode of Hot Ones yesterday, which I will be talking about, as the title of this video would suggest. Let's see, what's my act of kindness? Well, I did hold the door for some. Actually, the way I already used that in my yesterday's act of kindness. Well, I did hold the door later again for someone. I did that. And I also called my mom, because that's just what you do. Now then, let's get to yesterday's episode of Hot Ones, in which the guest was one Jeremy Allen White. Which, you know what? In terms of the questions I thought Sean Evans was going to ask, I did a pretty solid job guessing what they were going to be. I thought he would ask questions about the Bruce Springsteen movie Delivers from Nowhere, which is the movie that he's promoting right now. He talked a little bit about, doing stuff with the Iron Claw. He talked a little bit doing stuff with the Bear and Shameless. Sean Evans pretty much said so himself. This was an episode that was long overdue. And I can see why. Jeremy Allen White is definitely becoming, one of the best actors from my generation. Actually, how old is Jeremy Allen White? He's got to be in his mid-30s like I am. Okay, 34. Okay. So he's a little younger than me. Ah, cool. There's actually a picture of him standing next to Bruce Springsteen. Which makes sense because he's playing Bruce Springsteen. Actually, speaking of Bruce Springsteen, that gets into the first question Sean asked, which was, what was the importance of making Bruce Springsteen's Nebraska album? Because, when you think Bruce Springsteen, you think songs like Born in the USA or Baby We Were Born to Run, which are great songs. Absolutely great songs. But with the importance of the Nebraska album, and I never would have pieced this together. Well, actually, some rock aficionados would be able to piece this together, but there's no percussion, no major sounds, no vibrating, there's nothing about that. It's literally just Bruce Springsteen's voice, his guitar, and his harmonica. That's it. The phrase less is more has been tossed around a lot these days, but there's a reason why. Because less truly is more. This is Bruce Springsteen. This is the boss, man. If anyone can make much with little, yeah, Bruce Springsteen can totally do that. Actually, since I just mentioned Born in the USA, they talked about why Born in the USA is really hard to sing. And according to Jeremy Allen White, he said that, it's not really so much as singing, it's more like shouting in key. You're singing from your chest and your throat. He actually when he was recording it, he actually put so much into it. I mean, Jeremy Allen White, doing Born in the USA, he got a migraine from it. What's funny is he talks about how later, like that day, he went to Bruce Springsteen because he was like maybe a few miles down the road from where he was or something like that. And, he talks to Bruce Springsteen, he says, how you doing? And Jeremy Allen White, having just recorded Born in the USA, is like, I just recorded Born in the USA. And to Bruce Springsteen, Jeremy Allen White sounded just like he would have after saying Born in the USA. He's like, yep, that sounds about right. That's actually kind of funny. He talked about like the hardest role to pick up doing in terms of everything he's done, like learning how to wrestle. That came naturally to him for the Iron Claw. He practiced a lot with knife work in preparation for the Bear, and he would just like practice cutting like onions and carrots and stuff like that repeatedly. But in fact, they actually talked about the most challenging scene to shoot was in the pilot of the Bear. But the most difficult task he picked up was, well, again, playing the guitar. I mean, prior to this movie, Jeremy Allen White has had like little to no guitar experience. And in 6 months, he's got to be able to do everything Bruce Springsteen can do. Like, listen, I really hope this movie's good. I really hope Jeremy Allen White gets credit for all the hard work he put into it. Actually, I just mentioned the Bear. They talked about how accurate the Bear is to what you'd see in real life, and there's a reason why the Bear is as popular as it is. Like, a lot of like chefs, and like if you ever see like chefs in interviews talking about like how accurate the Bear is to what they do in real life, and I mean like Michelin star restaurants, they're like, yeah, it's actually pretty accurate, which is cool. They talked, I just mentioned Shameless earlier. They talked about what was it like being on the very last day of filming for Shameless. And yeah, I mean, given everything that show did for not just Jeremy Allen White, but for the cast itself, I could see why he'd say it was like being at a funeral. I mean, 12 years, and 6 months out of those 12 years, you knew you were going to be at. Like, you had job security. You got to work with people that you grew to know and love. And it's over. Like, yeah, that's pretty sad, actually. He talked about, like, the people who have, like, the acting style that's most difficult to work with are the people who can actually switch in and out of character on a dime. Like, say you're having a conversation with me right now, and like 2 seconds, like not even a minute later, we're in front of the camera, we're gonna do a roll, I immediately break into character. And like, Jeremy Allen White finds that difficult to work with. I mean, he has great respect for those who are able to do that, and it's not easy to do. I mean, even for someone like me, who, I've had plenty of experience, doing plays and stuff, and, singing. I guess it's like rubber hits the road type of mentality. Rubber meets the road. Like, I'm capable of having a lot of fun with everyone I'm with, but when I gotta work, I gotta work. But it's not easy to build up that mentality. Like, it took years of me being able to figure that out. Actually, speaking of years figuring that out, they talked about building confidence as an actor. They talked about what makes Chicago a more interesting and most memorable food experience. And like New York City, Chicago, well, actually, Chicago is a giant melting pot. It is. I mean, there's a reason why Chicago is called the second city. Because, you think of cities, you think tall buildings and skyscrapers, busy streets loaded with traffic, people out there hustling and bustling. And, yeah, people would think New York City, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if other people thought of Chicago. Like, it's a working man's town. He talked about that. There's like trains and stuff like that. There's a river that goes to the city. Everyone knows this. And he talked about the most memorable food experience he has as well. Oh, it was a memorable food experience, but he talked about going to Alina and smoking cigarettes and like, man, why is this food taking so long to get here? And then like the waitress walks in and says, sir, you need to stop going out and smoking cigarettes. Every time you leave, it really messes up the workflow in the kitchen. So we don't know how to get not just your food out in time, but the food out in time for other people who are there. So, it was as if that was, in a way, that was kind of one of his first experiences in preparation for The Bear. Don't worry, restaurants out there. I don't go out and smoke cigarettes, so we're good. They talked about how he kind of has a hobby of like arranging bouquets of flowers, which not something I'd expect. I just never would have expected someone like Jeremy Allen White to, have an affinity for stuff like that. But you know what? When you're like a busy actor like he is, working on, stuff like The Bear and everything else he's doing, why not? That's cool. Actually, I like flowers. I mean, arranging bouquets of flowers isn't something that I would immediately think of doing for myself. But that's not to say that, if I saw like flowers that I'd want to have, I'd get them. Sure, why not? He also talked about when it comes to arranging a bouquet, like the more chaos you have in the vase or vase, the better. Vase, vase, tomato, tomato, potato, potato, roboto, roboto, and finally, for the last dab, with millions of Scoville units running through his body, Sean Evans asked Jeremy Allen White to play the harmonica, which, I mean, listen, he just made a movie in which, he plays Bruce Springsteen recording the Nebraska album, and all he has is nothing but a guitar and his harmonica. Of course he'd be able to play the harmonica. And he did really, really, really well playing it. I mean, it's easy to say that, like, it goes without saying, this episode was fantastic. It was. You got someone who really is becoming one of the most prolific actors of the time, and he's promoting a movie that, like, 6 months prior to shooting, he knew who Bruce Springsteen was, and that was about it. To be able to learn how to pick up the guitar in 6 months, play the harmonica, sing Born in the USA, shouting at the top of your lungs, getting a migraine in the process. I mean, I said this earlier, but I'll say it again. I really hope that Deliver Us From Nowhere winds up being successful. I really hope Jeremy Allen White gets a lot of credit for what he does in the movie. Sorry, and some phlegm. I sincerely hope that he gets at least an Oscar nomination. Like, let's be real, this is the kind of role that you do if you want to get nominated for an Oscar. And you know what? If anyone can pull it off, it'd be Jeremy Allen White. And it's so weird too. Like, you never nowadays with like more and more movies coming out telling the stories of these prolific singers. Not that they didn't already happen before, but I mean, you had stuff like Rami Malek playing Freddie Mercury, Taron Egerton playing Elton John, Jennifer Hudson playing Aretha Franklin. Like, these are movies that you need to check out, not because of the works that those singers did, but also the love and commitment those actors put in the role. And I can already tell, like, do I really have any aspiration to see Deliver Us From Nowhere? At the moment, no. But I can tell that Jeremy Allen White put a lot of time and effort into making this role his. Not to mention, like, he got, like, blessings from Bruce Springsteen himself. I mean, the phrase too big to fail is kind of an infamous saying, but how could this possibly fail? I mean, again, just from what I've seen, I think Jeremy Allen White's going to get nominated for an Oscar. It's very clear he should. And award season really isn't that far away from now. So, maybe he'll get it. That'd be cool. Speaking of cool, we got Homecoming tonight, which is, you know what, I'll save it for the short a little bit later. I hope you like this video. If you'd like to subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. It's always under Home News with you. For all you guys watching, enjoy everything. We have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, if anyone want to talk to me, we get to let know. Always back, take care, and make good choices. 607. Oh, I almost forgot to go over my NFL pick from yesterday. Shoot. I can't believe I almost forgot that. Who did win the game last night? I didn't see the game because it was on Amazon. I don't have Amazon. And they did not. Come on. Come on. Load, please. Please load. Come on. And I'm once again 1-0 because the Bengals won. Alright, so, sorry, 0-1. 0-1. Okay, so, because the Bengals won, I'm 0-1 for the week so far. Okay, now take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.